All right. Grace, mercy, and peace from him who is and was and is to come very soon, I'm certain. This is Rogue Diabetic, and welcome to the digital wilderness. Okay, so today, um, since it's been a while since I've done anything for YouTube, we'll do a little bit of election nonsense because I think I can approach it in a way where I don't get myself into any trouble with the algorithm. But and I don't want to spend a lot of time on it either because these elections are meaningless. Okay, so these things are the results of these elections. This has already been scripted out long ago. Okay, and based on a variety of contingencies, they adjust the script as necessary. But basically, whether this ends up going, and we'll focus on the Senate races because there's only a handful of them. I mean, there's only I don't know, 33, 34 of them. Whereas in the House, it's 435. And we might take a look at that on another day, later on down the road. But basically, the Senate is a little easier to focus in on. So last night there was some primaries. And based on the results of those, I'm beginning to see I'm beginning to see a narrative take shape. Now, up to this point, the narrative has been that, especially in the House, I guess we can take a real quick look at it, but that especially in the House, Republicans are expected to take back control. That was the narrative, going through at least until today. But we're starting to see this shift. Okay. There haven't been any changes to this the last time I've seen it, but as you can see, this little line right here is how many the Republicans have to get, how many races they have to win to get a majority of the seats. So the Republicans wouldn't have to win any of these that they're calling toss-ups. If they could take all their lean, all their, light red and pink okay, and this number right here, 222, which adds up to 6. But anyway, 2 times 3, that's 6. And they couldn't make it work out, so this one added up to 9. But anyway, there's two sixes. Here's your third. Right? 2 plus 2 plus 2 equals 6. 6. And then 2 times 3 is 6. Oh no, it's not 666. It's 603 scoring 6. Right. But anyway, so basically, all these seats. So basically, they've been spinning out the scenario that this was going to be, that the midterms were going to be a Republican landslide. Possibly, what they call a wave election. And if that were to translate into the Senate, you could end up with all they would need is one to control the chamber. Okay, at 50-50, the Democrats control the chamber because Vice President Harris is a Democrat and she breaks the tie. So So they were spinning it out like if there was like if the if a Republican landslide in the House races translated into a Republican landslide into the Senate, or even just a couple pickups, that would be like pretty much make Biden a lame duck. So that's scenario number one. That could still happen. Scenario number two is this goes on in some sort of form of gridlock, where maybe the Senate stays 50-50, or maybe it's like the Republicans pick up one seat and some seats into the House of Representatives, but not enough to take control, or a bare minimum to take control. So there's still some sort of divided, this highly hyper super part, so that they can just keep going on with this gridlock. And actually, I think that that's a fairly reasonable scenario. I think that might be what they choose to do, or that might be what they've chosen to do already, because they've already decided. They know what they're going to do. They can make this number whatever they want it to be. Okay. Now, what I really wanted to talk about today is this ballot initiative that happened in Kansas. Okay, so there was this ballot initiative. Apparently, there had been a Kansas Supreme Court ruling. Well, we'll back up to the United States Supreme Court. Dobbs versus Jackson Health. So, which basically overturned Roe v. Wade, kicking the issue down to the states. They're saying, look, this isn't what we're here to do. We're not here to set a policy on abortion. Okay, there's no right that we can find to it in the Constitution. So they overturned Roe. They kicked it back down to the states. So then the Kansas Supreme Court basically said that, well, there's not, that there was a right in Kansas that the state constitution guaranteed a right to an abortion. Okay. So they came out with this initiative. And why they would have ran this out, why they would have run this in the primaries, because it was the pro-lifers that did this. Okay. So the Kansas Supreme Court basically enshrined the right to an abortion in Kansas by their interpretation of the Constitution. So this initiative basically would have undone that. And once again, left it up to the legislature to make the laws. And then the various different, prosecutors and such to enforce those laws. Now, so there was this initiative that they put onto the ballot that basically would have undone that. And why they ran it out in the primary, I have no clue. Okay, it's in a primary. It's going to be low turnout, especially in a red state where you're expecting a big wave. Okay, I mean, politically, strategically, if any of this were real, you would wait for something like that. You wouldn't make your move in the primary. Because all that's gonna do is feed into the scenario that abortion is going to drive Democrats to the polls, and that's the scenario that's starting to shape up with all this. That this wave election that the Republicans are supposed to be able to pull off now is going to turn into a wave election for the Democrats. Because this abortion nonsense is going to drive all these Democrats to the polls. Okay. So, in Kansas, that's exactly what happened. This constitutional amendment, this ballot initiative was defeated. And so, basically, the Supreme Court ruling stands. So abortion is a right in Kansas. And I guess, like, I don't even know. I guess, like, the Supreme Court decides when this right applies and when it doesn't. I don't know. This whole abortion thing has gone so far beyond stupid that I can't even, like. I mean, it's just like it's chaos. It doesn't make any sense anymore. So the Supreme Court in Kansas is the one that's going to decide whether a woman gets to have an abortion or not. I mean, and they're the ones that defined abortion. That's not what courts do. Okay, that's supposed to be what legislatures do. Now, there's this headline here, and I don't know where it's from, but I mean you can Google it because I'm not going to read this article because I'm really not interested in their spin, and I can already tell what it is. So anyway, the article is a number of states will follow Kansas's lead in offering direct ballot initiatives on abortion. Here's what that could mean. Okay, and what their conclusion is going to be is this is going to drive people to the polls. And so this landslide election is going to drive Democrats to the polls. So this landslide election that the Republicans were supposed to be able to have this fall in the general elections this fall is going to turn into like this massive Democrat win. The Democrats can be just even money in this. If they just hold all their Senate, all their House seats, or the same number of House seats, they don't have to pick any seats up, and they're still in firm control. You start flipping seats to the Democrats, then all of a sudden, that's where the real fun begins. Okay? Because then if there isn't this, like, because they can't afford to lose anyone in their caucus if they want to, like, pass something like a pandemic treaty. Okay? Or if they were to want to pack the court. Or if they were want to do any number of things. And the filibuster. I mean, you flip one, and all of a sudden that stuff becomes possible. You flip 10, and then all of a sudden it's definitely possible. Okay. Now, in the Real Clear Politics, then that's what we're looking at. We're looking at the Real Clear Politics. This is kind of like their projections for the Senate. They've got 47 right now. They've got 47 marked safe in the Republican Party, 7 toss-ups, and 46 safe for the Democrat. Or reasonably safe. Safe or at least leaning Democrat. So the Democrats get all those. Then all the toss-ups go to the Democrats. All the lean Republicans go to the Democrats. And, then you're up to like something like 52. Well, it's got to be more than that. 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56. Yeah, you're up to like 56. Right? Then you throw in like, I mean, if you throw in 4 more, then they've got 60. They don't even have to end that. They wouldn't have to end the filibuster. And so to me, it's like that is like that's like a likely scenario. Now I haven't listened to any of the pundits, and I haven't read any of these articles, like the one that is like, what could this mean? But I'm pretty sure that that's the scenario now, that these Democrats and that the left leaning part of the legacy media or the MSN is pushing. Now the counter narratives that the Republicans are going to push is that the Republicans, driven to the polls by Bidenflation and Dumbocrat ineptitude, is going to swing the outcome of these abortion initiatives. That all these Republicans are going to show up to, get rid of the Democrats because everybody's tired of paying $5 a gallon for gasoline and $5 a dozen for eggs and $4 a pound for hamburger. Since everybody's tired of that now, that's gonna drive all these Republicans to the polls, and they're in turn going to vote for the pro-abortion side of these ballot initiatives, or the pro-life part of these ballot initiatives. So I think that was like, and there isn't any doubt in my mind that would the left would melt down. And that kind of a scenario could further their ordo ab chaos. It would certainly create more chaos, but I don't think that that's where they're going. I think where they're going is, I think they're going to hand the Democrats a huge win based on this impression that, this abortion stuff is driving, all these people all these Democrats to the polls, and is swinging moderates to the Democrat Party. And that they're going to fabricate a huge, huge Democrat win. So, and it's and if that happens, Katie bar the door. This country's over. It's over no matter what. They can play out any of those three scenarios, and this whole thing will be, and it doesn't matter. This country's wrecked. It's ruined. So anyway, that's all for today. I love you guys. Don't take the mark. Like, share, subscribe. I'm out.